God's sake. This is getting out of hand.
It is getting way out of hand.
Okay. Minimize that. I don't need that. I do need this. And this. And this. Yeah, I was it? No, it was, yeah, so last night after dashing, since I didn't stream because of a day off Twitch, I went to McKay's used bookstore here with Amanda and her daughter. And on the way, I was like, oh, and I had a scratch, and I scratched, and I scratched, and I scratched, and I went, oh, that's better. And Amanda goes, well, have you got worms? And I said, God, I hope not, because all of the idiots are taking all of the deworming medication.
I'm pretty sure that they make one for humans, so...
But why are you going to go for the low dose when you can go for the horse dose?
Yeah. Anyway, how long have we been recording? A minute?
I don't know. Feels like about 14 years to me.
Right?
That was definitely the Trump administration.
All right. We'll wait till it gets to 1:30, which it'll be in just seconds. Okay, everybody shut up. Here we go. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 631 of the Mana Pool. And I am Chewy. But, you know, I'm working on toughening up, so I can be chewed properly? That was going to be some sort of joke, and then it just didn't happen. Huh.
So, should I say something?
Yeah, you better. Okay.
I'm Brian. I'm the lead Rambler Tangent Master of the group. I'm just so thrown off by whatever that was that I don't even know what to say. I'm here, and that is an incredible thing amongst just by itself, because it's been a heck of a day, as I was telling these guys earlier.
Been such a heck of a day that he hasn't interrupted anybody.
Right? And Mike's not here to interrupt.
Mike's not even... maybe that's what's wrong.
Well, I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And I'm doing pretty good right now. That's about all I got. You know, I by no means am I what is it? Someone who can read the future.
You can't read the future?
No.
Ha, loser.
You're like the only one. Did you not know?
Nah, I didn't get that power.
What is wrong with you?
Oh, that's right. We were supposed to have a third part of our intro. And still the greenest man alive. There we go. That was mine.
No, I think that was just the last.
Still the greenest man alive.
I think that was just the last week thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's not. Yeah,
let's not actually do it.
Every 5 years, we have to add a new thing. Buh. My third thing would be that I've known as a definitely around these parts as a sex symbol. Unfortunately, that symbol is a question mark.
Well, you know,
it's got curves.
Not a gender symbol, a sex symbol. It's definitely a question mark.
No judgment, so.
Ow. But because people conflate those two. Just clarifying. Now, what do we have going on here? Right, so today... Okay, so you might notice if you're watching the video version, and if you're listening, you haven't heard him speak, because Mike's not here, because Mike has essentially a second wedding to plan, and it's next weekend. So I severely doubt Mike will join us this week, and also next week. I don't expect. We probably won't even do a show next week.
I think that would be pretty tough to do. Yeah.
Well, not just because Mike won't be here, but because with it being a short week, I'm sure these two will also be kind of slammed. I just found out a few minutes ago that it's Labor Day weekend coming up because I don't need to know that sort of thing, so I don't know that sort of thing. But anyway, Prince's symbol was the third sex symbol. Yeah, you are correct. Wait, was that a sex symbol or a gender symbol? Oh, God. Anyway. Right, yeah, so today we are on the ball. Of course, you won't be hearing the audio version of this for another few days, so we're not totally on the ball, but we're streaming and recording this the day of the big Innistrad Midnight Hunt informational stream thing.
If you're listening to us live via Twitch, then you are hearing this on time. So come join us next time if you too want to be on time, like the cool kids.
That's true. We stream Thursday nights most of the time. Do the podcast.
Most of the time.
If there's a podcast, it's on Thursday night. I can count the number of times that we haven't done it on Thursday night since we set the Thursday night time on, I think, two fingers.
We've been really consistent with it, yes.
Yeah. So I guess we should just dive into that, huh?
Sure, let's do it.
No, we have to talk about the previews instead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right. There we go. All right, so let's do the mechanics first, as always, because those were shown today.
Yes.
We've got Daybound and Nightbound, which are a rethinking of the werewolf mechanics.
Yes.
So originally, according to the Discord anyway, and I'm sure if Mike was here, he would go, yes, because Mike remembers that sort of thing. But originally, the way they wanted werewolves to work was for there to be like an outside thing that dictates whether it's day or night, and cards would change it. Sort of like being the monarch.
Yeah.
Like, who is the monarch right now has it's a token essentially that you use to show it. And
correct.
Having the city's blessing is the thing that you just get and you have to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but they couldn't figure out how to make that work all that time ago. Brian, no dying.
Sorry, trying not to. But yeah,
always gotta make my co-host not die.
This cold will not go away. But
are you sure it's a cold? You've had it for like 3 weeks.
I get colds for a long time.
Oh, you're like me. If I get a cough, it stays with me for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
But yes, I do recall, and I believe that Mike would be correct if he was here saying this. So we're just going to assume, because Mike is right most of the time, that he is here, in fact, saying this. And yes, this was what they originally intended for the werewolves was, okay, there's some sort of marker. But they didn't do that a whole lot back then. It was revolutionary enough to use the back of the card. You remember how people were like, this is sacred territory. How dare you do this?
Yeah. Is it a magic card if it doesn't have a magic card back? Yes. Yes, it is. It turns out. September 30th, 2011 is when the original Innistrad came out. So almost exactly 10 years ago. Buh. And yeah, in those intervening 10 years, they've leaned more into, well, the examples I gave, like the city's blessing and the monarch and things like that are tracked by things not in the card, not on cards.
Yeah. Like tokens.
But not even tokens, really. Like, being the monarch and the city's blessing, there are cards that represent them, token cards that represent them, but they're not in the game rules tokens. They're just there. But anyway, but now they've decided to go back to it and make that work. And the other thing that was pointed out in the Discord is that it's a lot easier for Arena to keep track of whether it's day or night, because they've been leaning heavily into the digital focused card designs since Arena became a thing.
Yeah. Although I do also think that it's not that hard to keep track of because they did give us a little marker for it too, for real life. But the game, you're not wrong. Arena does it for you.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be that could be an ad campaign right there. Need to think, Arena does it for you. Forget which guy's going to attack this turn, Arena does it for you. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a fact.
Yeah. So, now we have Daybound. Let's look at the first card here, the Tavern Ruffian, who is a human warrior werewolf, a 2/5 for 2 and a red, 3 and a red. 3 and a red. That's important. 2/5 for 3 and a red. And he has Daybound. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn.
Yeah, it does.
Wait, how?
What? What's wrong?
It doesn't say, turn over the card in the reminder text.
Because if you look at the day card down there, it says, as it becomes day, transform all nightbound permanents. If a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. And when you flip it over, it says, as it becomes night, transform all daybound permanents. I agree they could have put that into the reminder text, but I guess they wanted to try to keep it shorter.
Interesting. So yeah, if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. Now, is this different? This feels slightly different.
This is slightly different. So with werewolves, they checked every turn. One of the reasons I always wanted to build a multiplayer werewolf deck was I always wanted to be like, all right, end of Mike's turn, these things flip over, but if no spells were played or if 2 spells were played, so this only tracks if a player casts no spells during their own turn. Wait. Oh. Yeah, so I think what it is this only looks at the active player, whether or not the active player
correct
cast spells. So for example, one of the things was Chewie plays a werewolf, passes to me. He doesn't want he wants it to transform during his own turn, so he just passes. But what I do is I go, okay, well, I'll play an instant speed spell. Chewie's thing doesn't transform because I played a spell that turn. So this is different.
It has been so long, I don't remember how freaking werewolves worked.
I mean, we had some in the return to Innistrad. Too many Eldrazi. Wasn't that the subtitle?
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't it?
And it was Scars of Innistrad. No, Shadows over Innistrad. But yeah, so this is if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. Now, this does still mean that we're going to be examining that. I play this guy, it becomes Mike's turn. If Mike doesn't play anything because he's the active player, it will it will flip over. That still happens. But so it's still being tracked every turn. But it doesn't matter if someone else then plays the spells. Okay? Got it? Everybody? I know we don't have Mike here to say it more succinctly than me, but I think we all got it. Questions, comments, concerns?
I wasn't listening.
Chifuji asks, has anyone checked or know if this is going to retroactively apply to existing werewolves? It will not, because not only does it work differently, but in this article it does talk about how this is the only way daybound and nightbound cards will transform. They specifically call out the card Moon Mist, and Moon Mist will not transform these werewolves. Specifically
really?
says, yeah. Transforming, this is the good part, is the heading where it addresses that.
Oh, because it doesn't have transform as a mechanic.
You got it. transform as a mechanic says dot 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 dot. This because maybe this is why it's not in the reminder text, is because it really does function this differently. So it's still similar enough that I think most people are going to get it. And only if you're really old like us would you even be like, well, this is not how werewolves did it back in my day. You know,
Okay,
only if
wait.
you're really old like us. Yes.
Okay, let's jump down to this. As it becomes day, all double face cards with Nightbound transform to their Daybound faces. As it becomes night, all double face cards with Daybound transform to their Nightbound faces. Right. Okay, that makes sense. In other words, these double face cards should always be in sync no matter who controls them. What's more, permanents with Daybound and Nightbound can't transform any other way. Sorry, Moonmist. So even though, yeah, because the day and night rules, the day and night like reminder card here says transform all Nightbound permanents, and the other side says transform all Daybound permanents. Which means that other things should be able to affect them, but no, Moonmist says transform all humans, but it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. Here's the other thing you need to pay attention to. So, and this you have to read really carefully, right? For double face cards, except for modal double face cards, each one historically only enters the battlefield. You can only choose to have it enter the battlefield a particular way. The side with the sun side, right? That's how you know, hey, this is the default side, and then later you have to transform it the other way. That's why you have to play the thing in the ice as the thing in the ice, and then it transforms into whatever the other side of it is, right?
Right.
The night side says permanents enter the battlefield nightbound. So if it's night and you have a modal card that is daybound and nightbound, you're immediately getting the nightbound effect. And this is why they say they all sync up. Everything is either nightbound or daybound at the same time. That's pretty trippy to me.
So going back to the Tavern Ruffian.
Yes, sir.
4 mana, 2/5, Daybound. When it becomes night, so if a player casts no spells during their own turn, then you get the Tavern Smasher, which is a 6/5 as Nightbound. Now, like Brian said, if it's already night through some other Daybound or Nightbound card that made it night, then you have to play the Tavern Smasher instead of the Tavern Ruffian. Because the day and night, like it says down here, day and night must always be synced up. So all the cards that are daybound will be face up if it's day, and all the cards that are nightbound will be face up if it's night.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they don't transform any other way, I guess. Which I'm sure once we get the hang of all of this, this will make more sense.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, this probably makes more sense than the old way. We just got used to the old way.
That you couldn't you flip them during your turn?
Some of them, well, I mean, they transform different ways, like Moonmist. And we're only even talking about werewolves here because different cards, like Delver of Secrets, transformed with different triggers, right?
Well,
but
we're talking about werewolves specifically. Let's not get lost in the weeds here.
That's yes. Believe it or not, I'm agreeing with you on that point. That's what I'm trying to say. But just among werewolves, yeah, you might have some that are transformed. You might have others that are not transformed for whatever reason. So them all syncing up does make things a lot easier.
Yeah. Like let me do a subtype over here. Search for werewolf. Add search.
Well, if they're a werewolf, if it's night during your turn, then they're all night, and then at the end of the turn, either you played 2 cards or you didn't play any cards, and the next turn is when it's either night or day, depending on what you did your turn.
And I think everything is night and day all at the same time. So, like for all players, right?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me, is that it's not I'm day and you're night and Chewy's night, and
Yeah,
it does kind of sound like we essentially all just use the same thing.
We do,
Correct.
yeah. Okay, so when the game starts, it's neither day nor night, which means it's basically
Twilight.
it's basically day because the default setting is the face up, or the front side, essentially the day side.
Correct.
So it even says right here, right beneath the pictures, when the game starts, it's neither day nor night. In most games, it will become day first. The most common way that will happen is if a permanent with daybound appears on the battlefield. So once a daybound character shows up, it's daytime. Yay. And that effect is always happening.
Yes.
And because it says if a player casts no spells during their own turn, yeah, that means it's everyone in the game is at the same time of day.
Yes.
So, jumping over to an old werewolf real quick. How does this look on screen? Oh, it looks terrible. Hang on. There we go. So, yeah, the Gatstaff Shepherd just said, at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Gatstaff Shepherd. So that's it. And then the Gatstaff Howler says, at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Gatstaff Howler. And so, yeah, you could have some creatures that were sunny side up and some creatures that were night side up. And keeping track, wait, who cast spells and who didn't? Oh, God, wait. It was just...
Yeah.
Like,
I've got these 3 that are transformed, but these 2 that weren't, and yeah. I played, or you have a round where like 3 people played spells, but they all played 1 spell apiece. So,
yeah, and like for individual cards, that was fine, but on the whole, I think that the day-night thing is just better. Yeah. Honestly,
which is interesting. Like as you were saying. 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, whenever it was this hour. Was something, some version of this was what they originally intended, but they weren't really in the design space to make it work. So funny how we go back here and it's now this really interesting version of this. I like it.
Yeah, I think for those of us that played with old werewolves, this is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but honestly, I don't think it's going to take much getting used to.
Yeah.
I think it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody's on the same page.
There will be a period of transition, but this is just very clean, and just knowing, okay, everything's the same all the time really helps. Yeah, it'll just be, for some of us old people, just be rewriting what we know.
And again, remember, whatever side of the day you're on, that's the way your daybound and nightbound creatures will come out. So if it's night and you want to play a Tavern Ruffian, you're not getting a Tavern Ruffian, you're getting a Tavern Smasher.
Yeah.
Brian is really bad at muting, by the way.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll try and do better. It's hard. I have to keep switching between Discord and the screen. So, excuses.
You can set up a hotkey in Discord, so you just have to tap that key and it'll mute you.
Oh, I'm already warm as it is. Thanks.
Heaven forbid you do something to make it a little bit better for the listeners. So, have we covered everything here? Good Lord.
I think we've covered everything under night and day.
Everything under the night and day.
Everything the light touches and or doesn't touch.
Thanks, Mufasa.
You're welcome.
Try not to get run over by a bunch of wildebeest. What?
This is CNN.
Oh, too soon.
Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I do like that the little, they call it a helper card, is a double face card in and of itself. So you just flip it over. Like, blam! It's day now. blam, it's night now, and everyone goes right.
Mm-hmm. Because it is day or it is night.
Yeah. But okay, so that's all we've got here. Let's move down to disturb.
Yes, let's get disturbed. Or
I
disturbing.
have not. Well, I don't even know what this is.
It is another take on transform.
Oh, this. Okay, no, I did read this in the Discord. Okay.
So basically, I think this is the most succinct I can put it. A card with disturb has a cost that you pay while that card is in the graveyard, and if you pay it, it returns to the battlefield transformed on its other side.
Yeah.
How was that for succinct?
It was actually better than I was expecting.
Me too.
So, yeah, the bait hook angler for 1 and a blue is a 2/1 human peasant, and that's it. Nice and boring. But it has disturb of 1 and a blue, which disturb is not flash, but what's the thing where you play creatures from the graveyard? Damn it, there isn't one, is there? Where you just straight up play them from the graveyard with no problem.
Haste. I don't know that. Yeah.
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 So okay, yeah, the bait hook angler is a 2/1, a vanilla 2/1, but it has disturb, so you can pay 1 and a blue because its disturb cost is the same. You pay 1 and a blue when it's in the graveyard, and you get back the Hook Haunt Drifter, which is a 1/2 with flying, and if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead.
Yeah.
And do they all have that, or is that just on this card?
There's another card with disturb that also has that, and I would be surprised if they didn't all, because otherwise, remember when a double face card is put into the graveyard, it's put in front side up. So in theory, if it didn't have that ability,
you could disturb it forever.
It would be so disturbing.
What it sounds like to me is a better version of Flash.
Well, no, because it's not instant speed.
Instant speed.
Oh, flashback, yeah.
Flashback.
I mean, except it's for creatures, yeah.
Right.
And essentially, that's what it is. It's flashback on creatures, and that's what you get.
And when it comes back, it's something else.
It's something else. Now you say better, like here with the bait hook angler, the front side is a 2/1, the other side is a 1/2 with flying. There may be times where you just rather have a 2/1, so it's not necessarily better. Though I do think you will see scale up a lot of times, but sometimes it'll just be like, I would be surprised if they didn't have big guy on the front side and then just little guy on the other one, because it's basically, here's a little free creature for when this one dies.
And
it's getting more common.
We don't know if this is going to be scaled up for something else where, or when it dies, it's a big thing when it dies, and then when it comes back, it has extra abilities, but we just don't know yet.
I mean, because you have both sides of the card to play with, it could be really whatever they wanted.
Exactly.
So
I'm sure we'll see disturb costs that are bigger for a bigger and better thing, and we'll see disturb costs that are smaller for a cheaper and faster thing. Like that's what they always do with things like this. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it does say the back faces of cards with disturb have an ability that exiles them instead if they would be put into a graveyard from anywhere. Like we said, to keep them from being disturbed forever every turn.
So disturbing. Yes. Forever and ever.
Ooh, and if it's countered when you try to disturb it, it goes to exile too. Oh. That's useful. I hiccuped, excuse me.
Yeah, because it is the hook haunt as it's being cast. Because you're casting this card transformed.
Yeah, so if you're casting it, if you're disturbing it, you're casting it. It was never a bait hook angler. It was always a hook haunt drifter as far as the game is concerned on the stack. And when you counter something, it goes to the graveyard, which going to the graveyard from the stack is from anywhere. So yeah, it'll get exiled. Nice and easy to grok. Nice. All right.
Nice.
Then we
Okay.
have Coven.
We do. This one's a little odd.
Yeah, there was. I saw a couple people in the Discord say that the way it's written, they were like, wait, what? Because, okay, so the Candlelit Cavalry, 4 and a green for a 5/5 human knight, right? Nice and simple.
Yeah.
And it has Coven. Coven is an ability word, which means that what it actually does is going to be different on each card, but the setup to get there is the same. So it says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, Candlelit Cavalry gains trample until end of turn. And when it says different powers, it means, just to head off any confusion, power as in power and toughness, not different powers as in like Prodigal Pyromancer and Man of War and something else. No, not like mutant powers, not like abilities on the card. No, power as in magic, power and toughness power. Got it? Okay.
I am so glad you said that, because the first time I read a card with Coven, my first thought, it didn't take me long, but my first thought was, they've never put it that way before. That's really weird. And I'm like, oh wait, no, literally powers. Just literally powers. Makes sense. But yeah, I was totally one of those people that I'm like, powers? Do they mean abilities?
Oh, it
That's
even
weird.
says that in the description here. Ha! Coven is an ability word that's used to highlight abilities that get better if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. This is where you may have a moment where you think that powers means abilities. But no, powers is just the number before the slash opposite toughness. Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
Was it Blake?
Thanks, Tayback.
He knew it. He knew it. Everybody knew it. And it's nice for them to admit it.
So yeah, all it does, Coven does, is look at your creatures and say, do you have 3 different powers among all the powers of your creatures? Like if you've got a 2/2 and a 2/5 and a 5/5, that doesn't do you any good. Sorry, that's only 2.
Yeah,
but if you like respond to the check on one of them with like a +1 at instant speed, you're good. Because now you've got a 2, 3, and a 5. But yeah. Oh, there's another one. Hey, read the other one.
All right. So the other one is the Candle Trap. For a single white, it is an aura enchantment. It has enchant creature. It is also common. Enchanted creature has defender, so it's a bit like a pacifism. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt by enchanted creature. Notice this doesn't say the creature can't attack, but it's not dealing any damage. So, and now it has a Coven ability.
Wait, what? It can't attack because it has defender.
Oh, never mind. Notice that Brian can't read cards. It actually can defend. It just, and in fact, it'll be it's just not going to deal damage to whatever it blocks. Now, before we get too hung up on me not reading cards correctly, it has Coven for 2 and a white and sacrifice Candle Trap, exile enchanted creature. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. So for a single white, it's a really quick, hey, that's not going to be attacking anymore. And then later in the game, or right away, if you're just dropping this later in the game, you can just exile the creature in case it's got some sort of annoying, persisting effect, even though it's not attacking. Because it can totally not attack because it has defender.
Like,
hey,
I zoned out from what you were saying because I was reading the card, and then like it snapped. My brain was like, "Wait, what?"
Didn't you hear? They edited. They went back and changed it defender. So it's like the creature has to be a wall for that to matter. They're going full circle here. Oh God, let's not stay on this. Hey, Dark, look, a green card.
Mm-hmm. So this one Might of the Old Ways. For 1 and a green, it's an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Sweet. But it also has Coven. If you control... That was a weird way. Then if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card.
That is actually nice.
Yeah.
Because it says then. So
Yeah.
it's after the +2/+2 is applied.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, now I understand why it's then. It just seemed
yeah.
weird. Like, then if you... Just did not sound like a grammatically correct sentence.
But they did it that way on purpose, and I get where
Right.
you're coming from, but to make sure you understood. I don't know that they even necessarily had to put the then there, because every ability resolves top to bottom. But
But there's dumb people like us sometimes that don't do that.
well,
can't
and if
read.
Mike was here, I don't. If Mike was here, maybe he could answer for me whether or not this also has to do with just making sure the first ability resolves first or what. But hey, it is the way it is, so now everybody gets how it works, right?
Well, yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's why there's a period. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So that happens. And then, because stuff like Dirk said, it happens from the top down. And every period is a place where stuff happens. So target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Bleh. And then Coven goes, do you have 3 different powers now? Okay, draw a card.
No, I only have 2 powers.
Then no card for you,
More.
nerd.
Okay, you're a 0. Because I hit you for 2 more.
Curses.
Ha! So,
and that's it for mechanics. Oh.
That is it for mechanics. Now,
Which I guess Coven Disturb and the whole day-night bound thing. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
It's interesting, though, because during the live stream, they previewed a card that had 2 existing mechanics, neither of which are here. I guess they're because they're existing, they didn't go over it. But they previewed a card that had both investigate and flashback. So...
Yeah.
I mean...
So, I guess we should get to the preview. Now, because this happened today, the card image gallery isn't updated, but... Ooh, we can hide unofficial spoilers. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Oh.
Where's that?
Up at the top.
Sort by colors.
Adventures in Forgotten Realm. Oh, wait. Yeah, you should sort it by date, too, because all of these are going to be by date. I think they're all listed as unofficial still, because when I clicked hide unofficial spoilers, everything from Midnight Hunt disappeared.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But yeah, up at the top, you can sort by date, and that way we can focus on just these cards that were shown today.
Okay.
So did you both do that?
I did.
Dirk?
What'd I do?
Dirk, I swear to God.
Dirk,
on the Mythic spoiler link that you have?
I do.
Yeah, did you sort it by date?
No.
Well, you should do that. Before I come to your house and poke you in the head.
And then he'll have to deal with a wild penny.
And nobody wants to deal with a wild penny at this time of night.
I know I don't.
By date.
See?
Okay.
So now we have September 2nd, Innistrad, Midnight Hunt. Boom. Oh, wait a minute. This is the wrong framing. There we go. Look at that. All right, so we have just a mess of cards here. It's showing the double face cards twice, though, so...
Yes.
It'll be a little confusing.
And I guess they showed Arlen yesterday, but I didn't see her until the stream today. So...
They did.
That's what this is saying. So do we want to start with Arlen because she's kind of the face of...
Yeah, we should probably start with Arlen.
Okay. So, I'll read the front half.
Okay.
Arlen, the Pack's Hope, for 2, a red, and a green. Planeswalker Arlen, legendary, of course, comes in with 4 loyalty, and this side is daybound. 2 abilities. +1, until your next turn, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. And each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. I really like that as a plus ability. That's great.
That
And
is
then
pretty good, yeah.
and then a -3 ability, create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. So very much in flavor with what she has done in the past. I like it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then oh, what a terrible night for a curse.
So, Dirk, what's the backside do?
Well, we've got the Nightbound side, and she, Arlene, the Moon's Fury, gets a +2 ability and adds red green. So, meh.
Huh.
And has a second ability,
That's neat.
0. Until end of turn, Arlene, the Moon's Fury becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample, indestructible, and haste.
Oh, whipping out the Gideon abilities.
Yep. Notice that this side also has the 4 starting loyalty, just so if you play this while it's night, she doesn't automatically go to your graveyard. So, yeah. And you kind of went mad that +2, but a planeswalker +2 ability that acts like a Llanowar elf on steroids that doesn't tap to do this. Now, you still only do it once a turn, but I don't think this is as meh as you say it. I mean, I realize that second ability is really strong, and a 5/5 with trample, indestructible, and haste is pretty darn amazing. But next turn, when you untap and you're at like 6 mana without another land, that's pretty good because the difference between 4 and 6 is really big.
That's massive.
Like Vorinclex costs 6, just for example.
Buh.
And really, yeah. So yeah, I think this is pretty neat. Neither of these feels like it's game breaking, but the thing with her is always you don't want either side to be just dumb because she's a planeswalker with 4 abilities essentially. You want to balance it, and I think I think they did a good job with that here. This feels really balanced, but still really, really strong. So, and I think there's going to be situations where you really want to keep her on that first side, and those other times where you want her to be a werewolf. Interesting to note, like, so you play her, goes to somebody else's turn, assuming it's still day when it comes back to your turn, you can activate that first ability. That's not a spell, and that ability persists until your next turn. So then, next turn, oh look, she's a werewolf, but you still got the benefit of that +1 ability during someone else's turn. Yeah. I like it.
We did not share the link, but there's the link. That's why I have it on the screen.
Did I accidentally close the Twitch? I did.
Bad at this game.
So bad. Just the worst.
Can we get some bad at this game in the chat for Brian, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I guess.
But yeah, I like both of these. Actually, I don't really like both of these individually, but as a shared across one card, I really like this card.
Yeah. Dirk, what do you think?
Also kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's it definitely has a lot of flavor and a lot of depending on what's going on, she definitely has the ability to liven things up. You're either making your stuff bigger or she's ripping stuff apart.
I mean, foes. Think about it. First, both of those abilities on her first half do help to protect her. The second one is a little sneakier. I'm sorry, the first one is a little sneakier than the second, where the second was just, here, get some wolves. The first one kind of says, hey, if you want to attack, that's fine, but something's probably going to be coming down. So, whereas the second half is very just like eat your face. And some mana, but also eating face.
Okay, I think I might have misunderstood something that was said in chat. Donovan said her +1 lets you cast your werewolves on your opponent's turn so you can transform them on yours. And technically you can't transform them on your turn by playing them on your opponent's turn. You can not play spells at all so that they'll transform on your opponent's next turn. But I see what you mean is you're not playing them on your turn so that your turn counts as the flip to night.
Right.
I think that's what they meant.
They will not be werewolves. They will not be transformed by your next turn unless you skipped a turn to use her +1. But yeah.
But yeah.
All sorts of situations.
Yeah, because Daybound cares about the active player only, I jumped in the chat and I was like, no, that only works for the old werewolves. No, wait, no. I see what you mean. Because before, you had to... Okay, so let's say you play 2 werewolves on your turn. And so you played spells during your turn, so they don't transform on the next turn. Which means that if you wanted to skip playing spells for it to turn to night, you had to wait until your next turn cycle. Whereas if you give them flash and play them on your opponent's turn, on your turn you can just not play stuff, and they transform on your opponent's turn. It becomes night on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So it speeds it up by 1 cycle. So yes, good call. Yes, you were right. I'm dumb. But okay. So there's another random creature here. Let's just read. Well, yeah, let's just read this real quick. Sereth the Viper's Fang. For 2 green is a legendary human warlock. It's a 3/4. And it says, other tapped creatures you control have death touch. Your tapped creatures have death touch. Okay. And other untapped creatures you control have hexproof. Okay. And for 1 and tap Sereth, you can untap another target creature or land you control.
So most of the time, that first ability is going to matter when you're attacking with stuff, because unless the creature has vigilance, it's tapped when it's attacking. So this is almost a weird way of saying your attacking creatures have death touch. That's not what it says, but a lot of times that's what's going to equate to. That second one is, hey, stuff that's not attacking or I haven't used it, you can't touch. This last one is kind of sneaky because it allows you to give her death touch when she's blocking.
It says other, Brian.
But you tap her. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I just have to play Mirror Gallery and then 2 of these, and then I'm just fine, and I'm not saying anything wrong. Jeez, I am on... Granted, day 1 of previews is usually a little rough for me anyway, but I am just on the freaking ball tonight. Jeez.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
Brian is cosplaying as someone who is new to Magic and doesn't quite get it tonight.
Do you like it? I put a lot of work on this. In this. Whatever. Whew. This is kind of a weird card.
Yeah. And chat pointed out Viridian Longbow, my beloved. Yes. A Viridian Longbow, for anyone who's not 1,000 years old like we are, is an equipment that gives your creature the ability to tap and ping. And giving something death touch with death touch of the Viridian Longbow is just a favorite thing for people to do. And this just gives all of your creatures death touch when they tap with the Viridian Longbow.
Oh, no.
Well,
Yes.
early equipment,
What?
just like, hey, let's make an equipment to do every little
The Goblin
thing.
Sharpshooter.
And the Goblin Sharpshooter, yes.
But then it untapped, but then it's got hexproof while it's untapped. So, holy Holy wow!
So a shield pops up while it's loading, and then it drops the shield and fires. And then the shield pops up, and it reloads, and drops the shield and fires.
Holy crap, dude! You might be the worst person ever.
What
Doesn't
As
that
he's taking
cost-
them, like, wait a second. I vaguely remember something that was awful. Oh, that's right.
And doesn't the sharpshooter cost 3? I'm gonna double check that.
It does, yeah, 2 in a red.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
All
sure.
right, so turn 3, play the sharpshooter. Turn 4, drop this. Immediately tap
Eliminate
your
your
sharpshooter.
opponents.
I
Okay,
mean,
so-
you know.
Moving on, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here. There are
do,
2
we
cards
do.
here that are part of the Innistrad Midnight Hunt Commander, but
Yeah.
I don't know if these are in the Commander set or if they're part of the stupid cards that are part of Commander but aren't in Commander decks that are only in set and collector boosters. And so we're just going to skip those for now.
Do you want to skip the legend only because, well, you know, there are other cards that have decayed. So,
Yeah.
decay. Okay. So, then we've got this other mess of stuff.
Good lord.
Like the lands. How about the lands?
How about the land? Where are the lands? Yeah, the lands are slow lands. Do these have a name? Do we have this already? I don't know.
I feel like we've seen this already.
But they're a cycle of allied colored lands that enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more lands. So it's not the fast lands, but I don't know if they have a name already because I don't keep track of cycles of lands anymore. I'm just not gonna lie. They don't have any basic land types. They're just lands, and they make mana. 1 of 2 colors of mana. Boom, no problem.
And it's the allied colors.
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah. Yes.
So, okay, then we've got... I don't know where to start. Let's skip the boring ones. That's a boring one. That Unruly Mob, that's a reprint.
That's a reprint. It is. I like the flavor text. We survived the travails, killer angels, horrors from beyond the moon. Now some big werewolves think they can scare us? Let them try.
That's actually really good. Angelic Enforcer, is that new?
It's the other half of Enduring Angel, so...
Is that new?
I think so.
Yeah, that's new.
Okay, so what's it do? I haven't read this card, so tell us about
I
it.
think it's new. So for 2 and 3 white, let's just click on it. Wait, let's back it up. Let's middle click on it. There we go. All right. Sorry this looks so crappy, but Mythic Spoiler is not set up to work with my streaming setup. Enduring Angel for 2 and 3 white is a 3/3 angel flying and double strike. It says you have hexproof. So that's nice. It then says if your life total would be reduced to 0 or less, instead transform Enduring Angel and your life total becomes 3. Then, if Enduring Angel didn't transform this way, you lose the game. Wait, what? Oh, so if they kill it?
Yeah, if something happens, then it just prevents the... maybe it's prevent the game from getting into a hung state where it's trying to reset your life to 3. I don't know. If Mike was here, he could tell us. But I think it's just either you don't lose the game and you get the angel, or it fails to work and you're just dead. So
that makes sense. And then the backside of is the Angelic Enforcer. That is an angel with flying. You have hexproof, and its power and toughness are each equal to your life total. And whenever Angelic Enforcer attacks, double your life total, which means double its power and toughness.
yes.
Thank goodness it doesn't have double strike anymore. Jesus.
No. And you have to basically die to flip this card. I mean, it's intriguing. I feel like it's almost a dare. Are we sure this is an angel and not a demon? Because I can see Mike killing himself to do this. You're like, this will be great. And then somebody's like, yeah, somehow make that not work. He's like, I mean, I don't know how to feel about this. There's the Johnny part of me that thinks, oh, wow, this is awesome. But then you're also left with basically a 3/3 that, assuming it survives, your life total then goes to 6. I guess you'll probably use other life gain, so it gets bigger faster. But this, I guess especially in limited. Now this is a mythic, so it's not going to come up a whole lot in limited. But the fact that it gives you hexproof, and as soon as you play the first side, the opponent is like, well, gee, unless I can remove that, I guess I can't win. So, yeah.
This was just dropped in the chat. Enduring Angel, and its text says, if your life total would be reduced to 0, you lose the game.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Ah, that's good.
What is going on with this thing's face? It's just kind of... I'm not sure what's going on with its face.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know, just something about its face does not look like the rest of it. I don't know.
Okay, Brian.
Just me.
It is.
Well, I want to talk about Decayed. So I'm going to talk about Jadar. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but I'm going to say Jadar, Ghoul Caller of Nephalia.
Where is this?
It is the next card up after the lands.
Ah, there we go.
Right. So Jadar costs 1 and a black for a 1/1 legendary human wizard. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. It's got reminder text on here. With a creature that is Decayed can't block. When it attacks, sacrifice it at end of combat. So,
why is that not in the mechanics article?
I don't know.
Is that not new?
It is new.
Question is it considered a mechanic?
I would think it'd be, it's more consistent than, Coven.
Thing here
feels like an oversight to me.
It does. That's weird.
But
he's not showing up anywhere as far as I see.
But it is really straightforward. It's so easy to understand. This thing is on its last legs. It can't block, and when you attack with it, it dies. It deals the damage, but then at end of combat, it dies. So, which I kind of like the thought of the like, okay, this thing is reanimated. The picture here is a zombie, but it's like not holding together very well. So, and I'm sure there will be other ways to like. I would be very surprised if there was not a spell in this set that was like a sorcery. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains Decayed. So something like that as a way to just use that to bring something back or get a short-term benefit out of it. Think of like a ball lightning, but if it doesn't attack right away, you can kind of wait for a turn or two to use it.
Yeah. It allows you, I'm guessing this is going to be mostly, if not entirely, on zombies. It allows you to build up like an army of shamblers that you wait and unleash at once.
Yeah. Hold, shamble.
Brains.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
that's actually cool.
Dirk, what do you see in this that kind of catches your eye?
Have we talked about Tavalar?
No, it was just shown today. That's why it's in the shown today pile.
Woo-hoo. Well, it's just one of those things. Like, I feel like we've covered something that looks similar, but I just couldn't remember if we did. So I'm gonna grab it. Tavalar, Dire Overlord, for 1 red-green, is a legendary human werewolf who's rare, has a power toughness of 3/3, and says whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Sounds good to me. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes night. Then transform any number of human werewolves you control daybound.
Oh, so it works with old werewolves.
Yes.
That's cool.
And he has the flip side. Tavalar, the Midnight Scourge, who is a 4/4 and is a legendary werewolf. And says, whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Hey, I've heard that before. And has X red-green. Target wolf or werewolf you control gets +X/+O and gains trample until end of turn, and is nightbound.
It is a Keswick Wolf run.
I was just about to say, that sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah. So they talked about this in the show a little bit, and they highlighted this from a story perspective. So night is getting longer on this plane, largely due to what the Gatewatch did with Emrakul and the moon. Gee, who would have thought that sticking an Eldrazi in a moon would be a bad idea?
What do you mean actions have consequences?
Not around here, they don't.
I mean, in the US, they sure freaking don't. Anyway.
But, if Jace does it, it's probably a bad idea. So here we are. And as a result, the humans have been getting more and more outnumbered. So the warlocks and witches among the humans are trying to conduct some sort of ritual to put things kind of back in balance. That's the theme for the set, the Harvest Festival or something. I forget the name of it. However, the werewolves have been getting bigger, and this is a particular strain called the Dire strain. Think of dire wolf or whatever. And this guy is apparently the leader. They said that in human form, he generally can take like a regular. He's about as big and about as strong as a regular werewolf when he's in human form. Notice he's also the only werewolf to really as a werewolf, use a sword. So he's a story focus for this set. And he's a werewolf commander. He's the first legendary werewolf. Unless you play Brawl with Arlen, otherwise, because she's a planeswalker, this would be your werewolf commander. So have at him. And I do like.
And Chet pointed out that Stark totally called it. It's a. What did Donovan say? They finally printed a werewolf commander. It truly is a when you do werewolf things, TM, draw a card.
Yeah, I mean, that is just what it does. And I do like the fact that it at least does work with the older versions of werewolves. So that if you've been waiting to build that deck, you can build that deck. And Keswick Wolf run was a heck of a card.
Chat is pointing out there was another legendary werewolf.
Which one was that?
I have no idea, but 2 people said no, this is the second. The first one was apparently a commander werewolf.
Was it?
Which would be why I don't remember it, so.
I'm going to gather. I'll let you know what I find. Obviously, none of us remember it.
Yeah, chat is really great at saying, no, you're wrong. And when I go, what is it? Nobody answers. So.
Looking for.
Ulrich is the name.
Well, I'm already on legendary werewolf. Should come up with one thing unless. Oh, I didn't put in. Okay, good. It did not kick back the changeling.
Oh, well, I recognize this. Yeah, Ulrich of the Krallen Horde. Which, has no synergy. It's just a red-green werewolf.
That's right.
When it enters the battlefield or transforms, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. And the other side is, when this creature transforms into this version, you may have it fight target non-werewolf creature you don't control. You're right, that is kind of awful.
Yeah.
That was literally just a box tick, wasn't it?
So now you have two options. You have the one that doesn't do anything else with werewolves, and you have the one that is do X with werewolves, draw a card. So,
I mean, this doesn't even do X with werewolves. It doesn't do anything. Yeah,
I know.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to remember this.
Yeah.
What is this from?
It's from the
Eldritch Moon. Yeah. Okay.
Eldritch Moon. Yeah.
It's
It wasn't
literally
even from-
just werewolf. That's a commander. Now shut up already.
I
That's
would
what it was.
I would have thought this was from like a commander set or something, from the fact that I don't remember this at all. But no, it's from a set that I really feel like I played quite a bit of. And I got nothing.
Oh, it was also just pointed out in chat. This was the only like previous Innistrad's version of werewolves that was printed in Eldritch Moon. It literally was just a box tag. It's like, look, it's a legendary werewolf. Shut up already. Okay, I do not remember that uproar. There have been so many uproars over the years that I'm bound to forget some of them. And this one is clearly not worth remembering. But
yeah,
in the interest of being accurate, yes, not the first werewolf commander, but the first good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tavalar.
Thanks, you.
Thanks, dire werewolf man.
So, moving on.
The
last couple Innistrad sets have been really rough on the Archangels. You know, Avacyn dies.
Spoilers.
Avacyn apparently killed one of the Archangels to take her place. I don't even remember her name. And then you had the three from the original set. Bruna, Gisela, and Sagarta, right? They were all really awesome.
Didn't two of those smash together?
Yes, Bruna
and Gisela
and Sagarta.
Sagarta.
No, not Sagarta. You're right. And Gisela smashed together.
Sagarta, yeah.
Into what is still probably one of my favorite parts of that set. I have never managed to actually meld those two. Samantha played my deck once and did it on like turn 5 against me. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Also, what the heck? So Sagarta is left, and I guess she's protecting humans, which is kind of her thing. So here we have Sagarta, Champion of Light, for 1 a green and 2 white, and she's always been green-white, I think.
Wait, she's Champion of Light? Then why did she have to cast Magic Missile? No? Okay.
Nope. Not even. So for 1 a green and 2 white, she's a 4/4, so she's a 4/4 with flying and trample for 4 mana. That's pretty good. She's mythic, obviously. Humans you control get +1/+1. Now that's also important because she has a Coven ability. So whenever Sagarta attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a human creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And again, because she's pumping your humans, keep that in mind for when you're looking at powers. But I'll take a 4/4 with flying and trample for 4 mana. Yes. That's antheming. It's pumping up your other dudes if you built your deck right.
Yeah.
And 5 cards is a pretty good amount for this sort of effect when you're looking.
Yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed until my brain clicked that this is whenever she attacks, not like once.
Yeah.
I was like, it's all right. And you get to do this a lot. Yeah. Oh.
You get to do this a lot, and she is really, really efficient. So, yeah.
Where are the Cheetos?
I had a feeling that's what you were referring to.
Do
I
what?
just honestly, I had a feeling that's what you were referencing. I just actually haven't really listened to that in forever. Maybe now that I play D&D, I need to go back and listen to that and see if I even find it funny anymore.
You're
I'm
not
sure I
there.
do.
You're getting drunk. Anyway, so Sagarta's cool. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the brutal Cathar.
Sure.
So the brutal Cathar is a human soldier werewolf for 2 and a white for a 2/2 that's rare. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into brutal Cathar, exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. And it's daybound. So the brutal Cathar is a O-ring essentially, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the updated O-ring is, I don't know. In my brain, it's Oblivion Ring.
Yeah, we all know what you mean. But it can keep firing over and over again.
Yeah, that was what I was going to get to. Now, it's daybound, which means the nightbound side is the Moonrage Brute. It's a 3/3 werewolf with first strike and has ward of pay 3 life.
Whew.
Now remember, ward is if you're going to target for opponents. If your opponents are going to target this, they have to pay the ward cost, or whatever they're targeting with is countered.
Yep.
In this case, that's pay 3 life, which is one of the steeper ward costs I've seen.
It's pretty up there as far as life. I mean, there's a 3/2 witch with menace that also has ward of pay 3 life from Strixhaven. Jeez, it's only been a couple months. I'm already like, oh, that set that was 2 sets ago. And that's a pretty good card. So yeah, this is interesting. This is one of the ones that flips over. It's white when it starts, and it flips over into red. So
Oh yeah, I didn't even say that. Yeah, it's red on the night side. But yeah, like Brian said, it's worded this way not only so that if you play it when it's night and then it becomes day, you still get the effect, but also it can go off multiple times if it switches, the day-night cycle continues.
yeah.
Of course, that also means that when they kill it, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. True, but hopefully by then you've got made the most out of snatching 2 or more of their creatures.
Hopefully, yeah.
If you take 3 of their things and you haven't won yet, then something is probably very wrong. Either that or you just exile all their tokens.
Oh, dick move. I like it.
Thank you.
Oh. Buh.
I mean, in theory, like, except for some really crazy tokens out there, what you're exiling is perhaps not as high value as some of their physical cards. But if you just want to make sure that they don't get it back at all, there you go.
It's always an option.
Yep.
Okay, wait, you said there was something else with oh yeah, here's a card. Secrets of the Key has Investigate and Flashback. This is the card Brian mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So yes, Investigate is back, as is Flashback.
Yep.
And this is nice and simple. For a blue, it's an instant. It says Investigate. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, investigate twice instead. So remember, investigate means you create a clue. And clues say, hang on, let me see if I can do this from memory. Pay 2 and sacrifice to draw a card. Is that clue?
Yes.
Nice. So, yeah. Nice and simple, but 2 returning words that we know.
Yeah. And in the art, we have Arlen and Teferi.
Yeah, Teferi's showing up because, Time Mage, to try to help figure out what's up with the day-night cycle being wonky.
Yep. And they
Like,
didn't.
as a person with a degree in physics and astronomy, the whole, oh, well, it's magic, it's making the night longer, my brain is going, that's not how that works. But it's magic. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Unless Innistrad is flat. In which case, we should send all the flat Earth idiots to Innistrad so they'll get eaten by werewolves.
That probably would be what would happen, yes.
Yeah. They'll be like, well, I've done my research, and I don't think werewolves are real. Anyway.
Now, in the introductory video stream, whatever you want to call it, they only talked about Arlen and Teferian. We have not gotten the Teferi card as of when we're recording this, but there is a card that depicts someone looking a whole lot like Chandra. So if it's not Chandra, I would be very surprised. It is Light Up the Night, and it costs X and a red. It's a sorcery, it's rare. Light Up the Night deals X damage to any target. It deals X plus 1 damage instead if that target is a creature or planeswalker. So not a player. And has flashback of pay 3 and a red and remove X loyalty counters from among planeswalkers you control. If you cast this spell this way, X can't be 0. In case you're playing this for Storm, I guess.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, here we go. I'm trying to find the chorus. Oh, there it was. Nope. Okay, anyway. I just had to do that. Here you go, chat. For those of you that would like to listen to this, where's Twitch chat? Damn it, where's Twitch chat? I found literally every window but the Twitch chat. There we go. Did you finish reading the card? I was not listening to a word you said because I was playing Light Up the Night.
I did finish reading the card.
Okay, good. It seems pretty good.
Yeah?
Especially if you, like, get some planeswalkers out, you can just whoosh and, like, wipe your opponent off of the, off the face of the earth. Just leave a little greasy spot.
Yeah. That would be a thing you could do. Just play your planeswalkers and be like, hey, you guys are great. You're all really loyal to me, right? And they're like, yes, we're loyal to you, and great. I'm going to, consume your life force in a ritual to burninate my opponent.
Yeah.
Dude, if this were Yu-Gi-Oh! On like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show, there would totally be a villain that did that, and everybody would be like, he's so evil. And he's like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Because, on those sorts of shows that, like, you're bad for sacrificing things because that means you're evil. So, taking it back.
We can bring back
Dirk, you doing okay?
I think Dirk might be muted.
No.
Oh, there you are.
I was like, yes, and you guys were like, he might be muted. I'm like, no, I said something.
Didn't hear you say yes. Well,
yay, Chandra.
Really does it for a lot of the rares. I mean, that we've seen. Got some commons and
there's a mythic here that's in
Spanish.
Is that Spanish? No, that's not Spanish. Italian? Spanish? I don't.
It is not a language that I am familiar with, and I don't want to sound. I don't even pick here, but I'm just not familiar with that language, so I don't know what this card says.
Well, if you click on it, there's a translation.
Oh,
yeah, it's the Doll Stitcher for 2 and a blue. It's a human wizard that's mythic for a 2/3. Now remember, this is a translation. We don't actually know if this is exactly right, but probably. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, You create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Is Decayed only on the zombie token? I wonder if that's why it's not in the
Maybe
mechanics.
Maybe, because then that would just be... Yeah, okay.
But anyway, so whenever you cast an instant or sorcery speed, you get a zombie token with Decayed. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, you may transform Doll Stitcher. And the Doll Stitcher transforms into Toy Factory, a blue artifact. And it says, creature tokens you control, lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 3/3. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may transform Toy Factory.
Ironically, to make more toys, you have to switch it back to the Stitcher from the factory.
Or you can have one of each out.
Okay, I started looking at the picture for Toy Factory a little closer, and now I'm kind of weirded out, and I don't want to look at it anymore.
Is it because of all the little not Smurf golem things?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
I could have gone without seeing that. My eyes were drawn up to like the tube thing, and then I'm just kind of glancing down. I'm like, oh, wait, is that? And they're coming out of the... Yeah, I don't need this anymore. So this is creepy.
Yes. It is a little weird that, the factory doesn't make new tokens. It just makes them better.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
That you have one of each out.
I get that the
the problem with that... Oh, no. Day and night bound don't matter for these guys. They just got the day and night symbol
it doesn't
because...
say day or night. It just says you flip it.
And both of them say may transform.
Well, yeah, but the whole... They have to transform at day or night is only for things that are day bound or night bound. But the double face cards still have the day and night symbols on them. That's where the disconnect was happening. Because the day and night symbols have always meant front side and back side. But they don't change with the day and night cycle. They just have the symbol. Because, that's kind of a problem, actually. But, right. Okay.
Make lots of zombies, and then they turn into golems.
Yeah.
Dolls?
Dolls.
Golems?
Creature token.
I mean, they're still whatever creature they were. They're just 3/3s with no abilities now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you could use this in like a squirrel deck, and you're going to get to 3 tokens right away.
Neat.
Those are some big squirrels.
But then the squirrels turn into dolls. Ugh.
We also have, finally, the best name ever on a Magic card. Did you guys see it?
I'm going back now. I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
It's the one right next to Light Up the Night.
Defenestrate.
Defenestrate. Defenestrate for 2 and a black is a common instant that says destroy target creature without flying. But defenestrate means to throw out of a window.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So this is a creature kill spell that is literally tossing said creature out the window. That's why it has to be without flying. Because if you throw a creature with flying out the window, it goes, sweet, and flies off. So.
So this is... Would you say that the chaplain here took a tragic slip?
No, because it doesn't matter what size the chaplain is. But yeah, the flavor text says, the chaplain would perhaps have found some small comfort had he known that the replacement window would be named in his honor. Aw.
I mean, I don't live in a place where we name our windows, but okay.
No, there'll be a little plaque under it that says the the chaplain Steve. Like we name park benches for God's sake. It's the same thing.
We
Chaplain
do, but I
Steve.
think
What's it? What would it
yeah,
be? Memorial stained glass window.
but I think that only draws attention to the fact that Chaplain dummy fell through it. Like a park bench, you don't usually go, "Oh, somebody died on this bench, so let's name it after him." You know, I mean, do you?
I don't know. He didn't fall through it. He got thrown through. Hey, yep.
Okay, well, all right. Fair point. Well, there's a disturb card here that we haven't talked about yet. This is the Beloved Beggar. It's an uncommon for 1 and a white. It's a 0/4 human peasant. So it basically stands in the way,
There
right?
it is.
It just sits until somebody destroys it. It has disturb of 4 and 2 white. Remember, you cast it from the graveyard for its disturb cost. And it becomes the Generous Soul, a 4/4 with flying and vigilance. And the text of if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead.
So it's an 0/4 blocker, and then it's a Sarah Angel. Nice.
So I just looked at Moon Mist again, and Moon Mist's first line says transform all humans. Would that transform the Beloved Beggar?
It should, because it's not day and night bound,
Yeah. So
I guess.
2 mana, play your Beloved Beggar. For 1 and a green, turn into a 4/4 with flying and vigilance. It's not game breaking, but seems pretty good.
Okay, wait, would it? I don't remember how. I don't think I've played with any of the modal double face cards in years.
Yeah.
So I can't remember all of the rules interactions. I don't see a reason on the cards why it shouldn't.
Because they're rewriting, not rewriting, but because with the moon bound, sunbound stuff, they're nightbound, daybound stuff, they're kind of reworking some of this, but not really. It means that we can't necessarily just, but I would think yes, because you have a human and it has a backside. Like you can't transform a human into like a morph creature because it doesn't have a backside.
Right.
But this has a backside. It's got base. So I think you could do it. But I'm going to defer to Mike. I like the comment in chat. How do you pronounce Donovan Bane? I'm not reading well tonight. Donovan Bane?
There you go.
Yeah. Types, Moon gets misty. Old man, guess I'll die. And I love the exclamation mark there of just like, sweet. So.
He's like, alms.
Well done.
Alms for the poor. Oh, is that a shadow over the moon? Blah. Bad at this game.
Yeah.
I like the way that wow, right on Mythic Spoiler, there's a little thing down here called the Thesaurus that shows like similar cards, and the first card is Sarah Angel.
Yeah. Yeah. 4/4 with flying
and vigilance.
Oh, yeah.
Oops. So there's a few other things here, but they're all either common or uncommon and kind of boring.
Yeah. Why don't we come back at this again next week when we have more information to go off of?
Yeah. Well, okay, wait, real quick. The Famished Foragers. This is the first thing I've seen that has some play with Disturbed. So the Famished Foragers for 3 and a red is a 4/3 common vampire. And it says, when Famished Foragers enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, you add 3 red mana to your mana pool. That's us. Give us 3 red mana. Thank you.
Yay.
So that's a neat ability. But then it also says, for 2 and a red and discard a card, draw a card. And it's the first card we've seen that shows you something you can do with the front half of Disturbed cards. Just pitch them so that you can disturb them for the other side.
Yep.
Because in any sort of set where you've got things like Flashback and Disturb, you want to have a way to get things into the graveyard.
Yes. Shortcutting it without necessarily playing them, waiting for them to die, or sacrifice them. So.
Exactly.
And I like how the 2 abilities dovetail so well, where you can just run this out as a 4/3. That's fine. However, if the opponent has lost any life, you go ahead and get 3 red mana. So you can then turn around and use that for playing something else. Play a Stone Rain. Play play any other creature. Or if you have nothing else, just go ahead and if you're wanting to draw more cards, use that second ability right then and there. It's not a coincidence they give you 3 red mana and the next ability is 2 and a red.
Yeah.
But then also with having that second ability, even if you just had to run it out earlier, you can just activate that second ability anytime. This feels pretty strong for a common. Like, not crazy, but pretty solid,
Yeah.
Gets the work done.
Yeah, chat just said that it's pretty complex for a common too.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think you get it. I don't think it's going to cause anybody any problems, but I feel like it's pretty good for a common.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Sizable body too. Jeez. This might be one to look for in limited. Have to see how the rest of red shakes up. Yeah. 4/3 for 4. With card draw.
So, wait a minute. I just saw the card the chat was talking about earlier. Brimstone Vandal.
Okay.
Which deals with the day-night cycle. So for 2 and a red, it's a 2/3 devil that's a common. Speaking of complex commons, it's a common. And it has menace. And it says, if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as Brimstone Vandal enters the battlefield. So he lights up the... No.
So almost acting like a transform, like a daybound card, but not, because it doesn't have a backside. So, yeah. Okay.
And then it says, whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, Brimstone Vandal deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Huh. So fascinating, because it really plays off of that, but because this is a single-faced card, I don't know what other word is for that. It's not a double-faced. It doesn't do this on its own. It's reliant on other cards. It can get it started, but then you need something else to transform for this to really work.
Wait, do you?
Well, this can't. This has no way of switching. Well,
I think once it becomes... No. I think once the day-night cycle starts, they're just always on, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Like, it can no longer be not day or night once it starts.
That you're absolutely right, because I'm again so used to the way before, because we didn't have this tracker. The only way you would tell what state something is in is by the physical card, and as we said, you could have half something one way, half the other way, whatever. You are absolutely correct, because now as soon as this comes out and it becomes day, then it starts switching when the conditions are met regardless. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, whether there are any daybound or nightbound cards out, they're still a thing once the cycle starts. That had not occurred to me until I read Brimstone Vandal.
Yeah.
Huh. So yeah, the day reminder card just says if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. Boom.
Yeah.
So once it starts, it doesn't end until the game ends.
Yeah.
So if randomly, with no daybound or nightbound cards out or anything, it's a thing you have to keep track of if you're not playing on Arena. Digital specific card design. Because even though it doesn't matter right now, it might, in 3 turns. So if someone draws a card, attacks, and goes, go, that means, and it's daytime when they do that, and that means now it's night.
Yeah.
And even if that doesn't affect anything right now, it might affect, like, what someone plays next turn.
Yeah.
So it's a thing you always have to keep track of. Constant vigilance!
Constant. Or you could just, let Arena do it for you.
Yeah. But since I don't play Arena, of course, I'm probably never going to actually play with the day-night cards either. But still, that's beside the point. It's a thing that if you're not playing digitally, once it starts, you always have to be aware of. And that kind of sucks, actually. For
there's going to be a time where
players.
there's going to be a time, I guarantee you, where you just lose track. Even if you're doing a really good job, there's just going to be a moment where you're like, oh shoot, you know what? It should have been a day. When? Yesterday. No, today. Wait. No, but like 3 turns ago.
Yeah. It's like, hang on, wait, but Dirk cast a spell on his turn. Okay. Did you cast a spell on your turn? You didn't. So it means on my turn it's night, which means this is a 6/5. Ha ha!
But I played 2 spells, so even though we didn't realize it was night, it would be day anyway.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so okay, so it's still a 2/5, but it was a 6/5 for a minute. Did that matter? No? Okay, go. It's not your turn. Okay. And that's just one of those little things that when I catch it bothers me. Like, I do like that Brimstone Vandal starts the cycle and then reminds you, but like if there's no reason to know, it's annoying to have to keep track of until the game ends, especially in like a multiplayer commander game.
Yeah. Now wouldn't it be funny if they made a card that said, if it's either day or night, it's neither. I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that, though.
It feels real bleak,
Now is the winter of our discontent.
What happened to the sun? A snake ate it.
But outside of that obnoxious little thing there, I do like Brimstone Vandal just as a card.
Yeah.
That whenever it switches, he just pings everyone else. Take damage, nerd.
It's kind of the specialty of devils on Innistrad, is just lots of ping, 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 ping. Just hits you in the face over and over again. Usually not for a lot, but enough to be annoying. You can just hear the devil making the salacious crumb laugh.
All right, so is that a good place to stop, you think?
I think so.
We covered almost everything, and the rest that we didn't cover is not that great. All right.
And we'll have more interesting stuff next time.
Next time on Mana Pool Z. I mean, wait. Oh my god. The previous season is like Dragon Ball Z because it takes 3 episodes to get anywhere. No, we're still doing previews again this week. Anyway, right. Well, so that is the stuff. Oh, now, wait a minute. There was one more thing that wasn't just preview cards.
There was?
Yeah, just the thing I want to complain about. But I don't think I gave you guys a link. No, that's not you guys. That's you guys. There we go. So, whoops. There we go. Yeah, so they've shown us the set and boosters, draft boosters, and whatever, and I really wish they'd change the name of set boosters because it's so stupid. There are new cards that are technically part of the Magic Midnight Hunt Commander set, but they're not in any of the Midnight Hunt Commander decks.
What?
They're in Innistrad set boosters and I think collector boosters. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them here. I don't know if this is all of them.
Why would you, if they're that?
Yeah, let it out. Go ahead.
I don't so it's bad enough they started putting cards just in the commander decks. You remember when they started doing this and they made like an objectively bad Gideon or something, and they're like, it's okay, we don't expect this to really affect standard, and we're like, okay, cool. And you had like the really overcasted spells that were like for 6 mana, deal a damage to something and search out this particular Chandra that's not that great. Okay, fine, not a big deal. And then they start increasing.
Oh, you're talking about, you're not talking about the commander. You're talking about this, like the, what the hell were those called?
Those were in the commander decks that came out with the set, but you couldn't find them in regular boosters, right?
No, those weren't commander decks. Those were the, like the starter deck thing. I can't remember what they're called, but they weren't commander. They were in.
Were they planeswalker decks?
Maybe is that what they were called?
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. But then that somehow progressed to the commander decks. But the commander cards that were specific in there, you couldn't find in normal boosters, right? That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying not to get off.
Yeah, there was like a heavily overcosted, underpowered planeswalker, and like 2 cards, one that could search for that planeswalker card and one that if you controlled a Chandra planeswalker, do a thing. And none of them were, one of them I think, if I remember correctly, ended up in standard decks, which caused kind of a problem.
But then it wasn't around for terribly long. So but then so you got commander decks that were actually like, okay, these are cards from the set and they're under the set name, but this is the only place you can get them. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so now you're telling me that there are cards that they are saying are commander cards, like Innistrad Commander, but they're not in the commander decks. Where are they?
I've said that twice now. They're in only
the set boosters,
the set boosters and collector boosters for
not
Midnight
in
Hunt.
Not in draft boosters. Oh,
not in draft boosters. No, just in the set and collector boosters.
Well, then just call them set cards. Don't call them commander cards when you have a specific, like, this is Innistrad Commander deck, and here are Innistrad Commander cards, but they're not in the Innistrad Commander deck. I don't know, what do these words even mean anymore?
Well, and it still bothers me that the booster they called a set booster has cards that aren't in the set, like that, and nobody at Wizards seems to have a problem with this. Like, I don't.
And because they're commander boosters, they're not tournament legal.
Well,
correct?
I think they're not standard legal because they're in. I don't actually know how the list cards in. Well, I know they're not standard legal, correct? Which is why you don't use them for like limited, unless you're like sanctioned limited. Unless you're doing like a hey, let's get some set boosters and build some decks, casual thing, like something we would do. That sounds cool, but yeah, these aren't. standard legal, and you won't use them in draft because you only use draft boosters for drafting.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I got not this. I just can't. And I understand what they're doing. They're trying to drive people to get set boosters so they can get these cards. Like, this is literally just FOMO marketing. That's all it is. But it's going to these ridiculous levels. Okay, so more cards in the set boosters. We want to push set boosters, right? Yeah.
But why would I buy set boosters when I can buy draft boosters?
Well, because set boosters have other stuff in them.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, some people do.
I mean, yes, and I realize that other people buy them. I'm just
like here.
Not sure.
I mean, right below those cards is a little bulleted list of what is in set boosters: a rare or mythic card, a traditional foil of any rarity, 2 cards from a variety of possibilities, either the Midnight Hunt cards or Booster Fun variants, or the Midnight Hunt Commander cards. Then 2 common or uncommon, and 2 uncommon single face cards, 3 common single face cards, 1 Eternal Night basic land, a non-foil or traditional foil, 1 token or ad card, or 1 card from the list, and 1 art card or foil stamped art card.
I guess I forgot this was where the list kept coming up for, because I don't think I've bought a set booster of anything. Yeah. So, and this is me talking with my own bias. So for people that want to do it, that's fine. This to me does not make me go, oh, I guess I'm going to start buying set boosters. It just makes me go, oh, I wonder how much the singles will go for.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is the opinion you should have. The problem is that places that buy boxes to crack will just have to buy more to make sure that they can give people these singles when they want them.
How many cards are supposed to be in a pack?
In set boosters, I have no idea. Whatever the total is, I don't know.
That's 14.
Okay. Then. Probably that then.
Then 14.
But I'm like, they're supposed to be 15.
But Dirk, that's a different kind of booster, because we have different kinds of boosters.
That's the draft booster.
Draft boosters still have 15.
Okay.
Stay with us here.
Yeah,
it's a long and twisted road, but
like I said, they can put whatever. I'm not like shaming people who buy set boosters, although you should just buy singles instead. But like that's the same with all boosters. Unless you're drafting them or playing sealed with them, you should just buy singles if you're looking for money efficiency. If you're looking for, oh dude, look what I opened. Okay, buy boosters. Yeah, sure. But it's the fact that they're called set booster. This has bothered me since they announced them. And it keeps getting worse. Like, why did you name it set booster with cards that aren't in the set or in it? I can't even with this. And then piling in these other cards that don't exist anywhere else is also just more slimy marketing nonsense. Driving up demand. But I've complained about that. I think every episode that we've talked about Magic since this sort of thing was announced. So whatever. Clearly, people keep buying them, so WotC keeps doing things with them. Obviously. Oh, those 2 were the 2 commander deck cards. Oh, okay. Oh, we'll talk about them later too, maybe. Okay. Anyway, I just thought we should mention that they've done more to force people to want set boosters. There was an anecdote going around from a store where WotC, they were like, hey, we want this many draft boosters. And WotC was like, well, you can't have that many draft booster boxes, but you can get as many set booster boxes as you want. And they were like, all right. So they bought all the draft booster boxes they could get. and then some number of set booster boxes that was just to meet demand. It was still more than the draft boosters, but they sold half of the set boosters that they were allotted and all of the draft boosters. But that set booster number that they sold, because they were out of draft boosters, was still more than the number of draft booster boxes. And so when they told WotC, yeah, we only sold half of these, even though you made us order this many. And WotC took that data and went, look, set boosters outsold draft boosters by like half.
Because you wouldn't.
And when I showed that to Bill went, yeah, that's how marketing works. Remember, Bill's in marketing.
Yeah.
And I went, that's so slimy. And Bill went, yeah.
There's another word for that. It's called confirmation bias.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm expecting that they're going to keep pushing set boosters. For some reason, WotC wants set boosters to be the thing. And so they're going to keep pushing it and not giving stores a shot or an option. And then looking at the data and going, see, people want set boosters, whether people want set boosters or not. So I don't know what their ulterior motive is, but they fairly clearly have one.
Maybe they're more cost effective to make. I don't know. Maybe it's the shiny new thing and they're just trying to justify it.
Who knows? The days of WotC being a friendly company that cared about its consumers are long gone. And so, yeah. But hey, in other unrelated to WotC news, Hearthstone announced their new game mode called Mercenaries, and it's just a mobile game like Brian plays. Like, it's gonna have the same predatory monetization that every mobile game ever, like Raid Shadow Legends and Marvel Strike Force and freaking Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, all of that. It's gonna have the same setup as those. So it's not just WotC.
No, I mean, this is how so many of these companies work now.
Like, I watched the announcement for Mercenaries, and they only hinted at the monetization, but there are 3 pre-order bundles, 2 of which are $50, and the third of which is $30. And I went,
and this is from the people that make Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's in Hearthstone. It's a game in Hearthstone, like Battlegrounds.
It's a game in Hearthstone, but
it's instead of being Battlegrounds, it's just free. It's a mobile like character battle game, just like, all of those that I named off, and many others.
At what point is it not really Hearthstone anymore?
Well, I mean, Hearthstone's still there. Like,
yeah, I know. I mean, I guess diversification is a thing, but next year, like, Hearthstone gummies. I'd like gummies. Maybe that's a good thing. Hearthstone tires, not to be confused with Firestone.
Oh, I bet that Activision Blizzard works out a deal with Firestone to rename their tires Hearthstone for a month.
Oh, there we go. Cross promotion.
I mean, we're gonna have Fortnite Magic cards soon, so.
There you go.
Anyway, how about some final thoughts?
Let's do that. So, for my final thought, I am very tired. I told these guys I was in court today, and I had a case on, and usually, we take a break at 12:30 and come back at 2:00. And a lot of times, if I'm being efficient, I don't even have to come back at 2:00. I go back to the office. I do appointments and things there. It's not like I'm not working. I'm just not necessarily in court. Today, we worked through lunch, so I didn't have lunch. I had breakfast around 7 in the morning, and I had dinner at 6:00 in the evening. So that was kind of a thought, but I got a fairly good outcome in court today, so can't complain about that. It was just kind of a long day, So personally, otherwise everything's going all right. The set looks interesting. I don't know that I'm like woo about it yet, the way I was with like the D&D set where so much stuff resonated with me. But there are some things here to enjoy, and I was always since the first Innistrad set a big fan of the transform cards because I just thought they were so cool. So I'm very curious to see what else we've got coming. I just really don't think I want a copy of the Toy Factory, like, ever. That's just no. So, but that's about it. I'm gonna stick around until after Chewy's final thoughts, but I am falling asleep. So, Dirk, go.
Um, my final thought. Um, I'm a bit of a BattleTech person. Like I really enjoy the story and everything. And one of the things I've been waiting for is the Ill Clan information. And I recently purchased it. I'm looking forward to reading it. And that's my final thought.
Cool.
Nice. So, yeah. I don't have Patreon pulled up. You guys went too fast.
And then in other news, um, well, I guess on a more serious note, I hope that everyone in Louisiana is staying safe and as dry as possible. With is it Ida that
Ida,
came through
yeah.
there? Yeah. So hope everyone there is being as safe as possible and hopefully is not too displaced from their homes.
Hurricanes and plagues and school shootings. Oh my.
Shoo.
Yeah, also on
I've
a somber note, I don't think we said this during the show. I think it was in the pre-show. We had our first local school shooting around here yesterday.
yeah.
So, you know,
In Dirk's school. Well, no, you don't teach in that county, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. You do. Yeah.
Shooting
So yeah.
happened not too far from where my school is.
Yeah.
yeah. So
You
that's fun. Let's not, do anything to try to help curb that or do anything with federal government money to help out the people in Louisiana who are currently underwater. No, let's not do that. It's just been bad news after bad news yesterday is what I'm saying.
So hopefully today finds you, whoever is listening, safe and secure where you are.
Yes. Unless you're a woman in Texas, in which case that's not really an option anymore. Sorry. That was the other bad news from yesterday.
Yeah, I'm trying to end this on a high note.
No, there are no high notes. Everything sucks. At least we have new and more interesting werewolves these days.
That's true.
So, hey, if you would like to support what we do here on the Mana Pool with our uplifting, wonderful content, oh God, then you can go to patreon.com/themanapool and become a lifeguard and get you some stuff, including the mythic lifeguard sponsorship shout out thing. So let's do it in, I don't know, this order. So I'd like to thank Kim Ho, Jake Jansons, PJ McMullen, Team Hillis Haru, Jason Kaus, Andrew Hunt, The Beast Father Aaron Goodwine, Al, Cody Buckowing, Jason Doan, Casey. No, stop.
Oh, I thought this was a new name on the list.
Oh, no, I had a sneeze pop up and then not sneeze. Okay, where'd I stop? There we go. John Parker, Jeff Spencer, Mike, who didn't show up this week, but he's still on the list. Aleph Cat, Scuzzo, Connor Kennedy, Gothic Man, Violet Moon, Stan, ALK Alters, and Mr. Dr. Lewis. Thank you all so very much. And all of you lifeguards at every tier for allowing me to keep doing this. What do I have going on? Do I have anything going on?
You have Castlevania.
Yeah, but by the time this goes out, that'll be over, so...
Well, Castlevania is forever.
Castlevania is forever, but the stream was only going to be Saturday.
Yes.
And Friday night. let's see. I still play lots of Hitman on stream and lots of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night until I finish with the Bloodstained. I really want to play, like I said last week, I really want to play Eternal Darkness on stream. So I'm going to have to work that in somewhere. Right? And see if it holds up. I don't even know if the actual moment-to-moment gameplay will even
you
be
might have
doable
it
these days.
Yeah, you might have it on a pedestal from how it was. And I'm not saying you, I'm just saying like anybody.
No, I mean, me
because
too.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that too. I have no idea if I were to play it tomorrow if it would really have the same effect on me as it did.
I don't know. Like, it's hard. Like, I've been playing the early Castlevania games like for just a minute or so to make sure that everything works for the stream on Friday and Saturday. And it's really weird how in my head the ones I played before, these are fine. But when I actually play them again now after playing games like the two Bloodstained games, Curse of the Moon, which is the 8-bit style one, and then Ritual of the Night, which is the more modern one, is and how smooth those games are. When I go back and play the old ones, even the ones that were like, these controls are amazing at the time, they don't feel that great. Because, you know, as games continue to evolve, games get better. Like, the controls get tighter and feel better. And then going back to a game before that is hard. It's hard. But yeah. I need to go back to Doom 64 too. Crap, I keep forgetting. My bad. But anyway, coming up on the YouTube channel, I'm going to have some more Hitman videos where they're heavily edited. There's lots of, you know, the background music and humorous things on the screen, just, you know, edited stuff. So, yeah, I've got one up already. If you could give that a look, let me know. I'm using these to practice the various editing techniques I'll need for the MCU videos once I, you know, get started on those, which they're still in the works. I've hit a snag that I'm trying to work through, but still coming. Yeah. But okay. And I stream all the time here on twitch.tv/themanapool, and the YouTube channel is youtube.com/themanapool. And I was recently, last week, I was on the School of Movies episode for Face Off. I don't know when that's going up because Alex puts stuff up whenever the hell he wants. And this week I'm going to be on the Castlevania games episode. So whenever those go up, you'll hear me there. The Face Off episode was a lot of fun because it's Face Off. You remember Face Off?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to take his face off. Yeah. He had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, those movies that star John Travolta as Nicolas Cage as John Travolta, and Nicolas Cage as John Travolta as Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, like, which one was the bad guy? Was it John Travolta or Nicolas Cage?
I mean, it depends on the timestamp.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Also, no, it doesn't. They were both the bad guy the whole time. Watching it in this age of, like, what's the word? ACAB. Like, one of the first thing, I think the first thing that you hear that's not in a flashback is John Travolta's character, who's the cop, or the Fed, saying, yeah, when this is all done, you can brand the Fourth Amendment on my ass. And I went, ooh.
Yeah, some things don't age as well as others.
Ooh. That's... So,
Our
yeah,
hero,
the Fourth
ladies and
Amendment, by
gentlemen.
the way, is the one that protects against illegal search and seizure. So,
Yes, it is.
he has been flaunting that in the lead up to the events of the film.
But Chewie, he's a good guy. He's just breaking the rules so that something.
Due process, something. But anyway, like I said, that's where you can hear me once those go public, whenever that is. But we're going to stop now with episode 631 of The Mana Pool. Let us know what you think of the day-night cycle. And, I mean, that's the main thing.
in the game. I mean, you can tell us about it meteor. You can tell us about it in real life too, but
Yeah, or if you're playing like Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, you can let us know what you think about it there. Also, it is you're contractually obligated, if you're of the appropriate age, when it turns to night, you have to say, "What a horrible night to have a curse."
What does it say when it turns back to day? I don't think anybody ever.
It's not as
It's
catchy.
not as memorable. Yeah.
It's just, I don't actually remember what it says. Some
Everybody
like
knows
the
that.
morning sun chases away something something.
Yeah.
I don't
Something like that.
remember. But yeah, it's
But
nowhere near as awesome as What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse.
Yeah, because what a horrible night.
But anyway, thank you all so very much for joining us, and go flip the sun off? Wait, no.